They buried him illegally. There's no paperwork on it. So I always say I'm gonna go dig him up. If I wouldn't be in jail today, I would have already done it.
Let me tell you something. I guess I'm in New Bedford, right?
Yeah.
And right away, when I was connecting, because souls will use all different ways to get my attention. And when I'm connecting, all I keep smelling is the smell of alcohol.
Oh my God.
And your mother says to me, Matt, I have to tell my daughter that I have been waiting so long to deliver this message to her. I'm coming down there with you right now. Do you know that your mother just said to me, she goes, Matt, she goes, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, she says to me. She said, but the one thing that I did not want is for my daughter to have to give up her life to take care of me, she tells me. When I'm connecting with her, she tells me this. She says, Matt, please tell my daughter that she was the best thing that I could have ever asked for within life. She says, but the one thing that she regrets is she regrets about the fact that you had to take care of her and watch over her here in this world. She tells me that her whole life you were like her guardian angel, that you were constantly worried about her, calling her up on the phone, doing all of these things. And she also says to me that she's apologizing for the things that you had to see growing up. Because she's telling me that her and your dad did not have a good relationship here in this world. She says, we almost didn't end up with one another. That's what she tells me. She says, but the one thing that she wants to apologize for is about what you had to see growing up, because she tells me they were constantly fighting and there were constantly these issues going on between the two of them. And she says, because of that, Matt, my daughter had to grow up at such a young age. But because of that, she also tells me that you have such a strong empathy towards other people. You feel people on a different level. And your mom says to me, Matt, please let her know that she's a beautiful soul inside and out. But the one thing is that she shows me that she let alcohol ruin her life here in this world. Not only did it ruin her life, but she also tells me that it changed her as a person when I'm connecting with her. She shows me that her moods were up and down, up and down, up and down. And she says to me, Matt, I drank so much that I put myself into a depression here in this world. And that was the hardest thing. Because what killed you more than watching your mom pass was the fact that you felt that you could not reach her in life. That's what she tells me. She says, please let my daughter know one thing. You need to let her know that every single day, I'm there, I'm watching over her, and that even though I didn't get to tell her how proud I was of her here in this world, I am so proud of you on the other side, she tells me. She says, because that's something that you lived through life that you didn't get to hear from your mom. And she also says to me that throughout your life, you worked very hard to please her and to make her proud. She says, Matt, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how much I neglected my daughter. I didn't realize how much I neglected my family until I passed on. That's what she tells me. Because when souls pass on, they go through something called a life review. And during that life review, they're able to look back and see the mistakes that they made, the things that they should have changed, or the things that they should have done differently. But what she also tells me, she wants to thank you for taking care of your father as well. Because she tells me that after she had died, that you had such a close bond with your dad. And she says to me, Matt, I was so afraid about what was going to happen to him, what was going to happen to him. My daughter's got it all under control, she tells me. She even tells me, for some reason, you had to step forward and pay bills at the house. Can you pay mine?
Via my sister.
Oh. When you stepped forward and you went and paid bills for him and did all these things, she wants to thank you for doing that. You know, this is really hard for her to step forward and to speak like this. Because here in this world, she would constantly say that she didn't have a problem. There was nothing wrong. But she says to me that tonight, she's here to take responsibility. Listen, know that your mother's here, and this is her way of acknowledging from the other side that by you being here, you are not alone. Not only is her soul with you now, but it's with you through life. And she says to me, please let them know, she says, that we're still a family, even though you might not see me. Right?
That's so sweet.
Know that you can give her a crown. Know that your father is also here. Because the moment I'm connecting, he keeps telling me that somebody was trying to revive him or bring him back here in the physical world.
Yeah.
And he says to me, Matt, please let them know that there was no way that I was coming out of this here in this world. The moment I'm connecting with your dad, I keep hearing loss of oxygen when I'm connecting with him.
Yeah.
And he says, I need my daughter to know that even if they were to revive me, bring me back, whatever would happen, he says, I would have never been able to walk, talk, or be the same person. And he's bringing that up. Wow. When I'm connecting with your father, he tells me that he had a lot of illnesses that he was fighting within his body here in this world.
He did.
But what's crazy is that I see that your dad got better,
Yeah.
but what's really tough, and the reason why you're here is that you still need answers on how your dad had really died.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. When I'm connecting with your father, okay, he's showing me that he was on all this medication before his passing here in this world.
He was.
I see medication bottles, and he's also telling me when I'm connecting with him that he had a very tough time because his body was very weak on the inside, he tells me.
Yeah, he had neuropathy
Okay.
from diabetes.
So when I'm connecting with your dad, what's interesting is that the way that your father passed is something that I normally don't see as a medium. Your dad shows me that he was fighting all of these illnesses, infections, all of these things. He got through it.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is he keeps telling me he was hit with a double illness. He keeps telling me double illness.
He did.
And I feel like the way that your dad died was like just from like a cold when I'm connecting with him.
Yeah, he ended up getting sick, and they put him on some type of medication for his lungs because he was having trouble like with breathing type of thing. And then it caused him to have a heart attack.
That would be why. Do you see? Being a medium is like being a bit detective. Like first your dad was showing me the pill bottles. Then he was showing me him being sick. He tells me he got through with it. And then he got sick all over again. And what's crazy is that I really feel when I'm connecting with your dad, it was like the common cold that killed him.
Yeah.
And your dad's like, he's going like this and he goes, Jesus, Matt, can you believe I died?
That's my dad.
He goes, out of all the things I've been through,
Yeah,
Matt, he's like, I
literally.
felt like I've been through hell and back with my health. He goes, and this is what kills me?
We joke around about that all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
No wonder why, because he's bringing that through.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
your dad also says to me, he goes, Matt, he goes, I can see a lot of shit up in heaven, he says to me. And your father says to me that you kept onto clothes of his here in
Yep.
this world. And he goes, can you tell her to not wear my clothes, he says?
I have pajama pants that are literally in holes, and I still have them. They have holes everywhere.
He says to me, Matt, please tell her it's not a good look for her. But your dad also is telling me that he sends you all different signs from the other side. And one of those signs that he sends you is birds. Please
Yeah.
know that that's his way of letting you know that he's there and that he's with you.
Wow.
I'm also hearing about cremation when I'm connecting.
He was.
Okay. Wait till you hear this one. Your father's
till you
showing
hear
me, okay, divvying up ashes when I'm connecting with him.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I swear, I can't believe this man's telling me. He goes, I swear a piece of me is missing.
I wish I had it.
Wait, what?
I wish I had it. They buried his ashes without us knowing, without me knowing. And technically, he only had one kid, and he wasn't married anymore, so it was supposed to be to me. But I wasn't 18. So his girlfriend at the time actually buried his ashes without me knowing.
Oh my God.
They buried him illegally. There's no paperwork on it. So I always say I'm gonna go dig him up. I swear, I always say that. I say I'm gonna go dig him up. If I wouldn't be in jail today, I would have already done it. I'm
Well,
so serious.
Oh boy. Let me tell you something. I guess I'm in New Bedford, right?
Yeah.
Please know, I gotta tell you something. Your dad's body, okay? Somebody already took a piece of those ashes. They're just not telling you because I
Yeah.
see that when I'm connected. He says to me, there's a piece of him that's missing down there. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Your father's letting you know right now, you don't have to dig him up for him to be with you.
Yeah.
You know, what's so tough is this, is that even though you did not have a say in how your dad was laid to rest,
Yeah.
okay? It doesn't matter. Because in heaven, that doesn't determine where your dad is.
Right.
Right? His cremains might be there, but that's not where your dad is. Your dad is with you every single day. And listen, by you being here right now, this is his way of showing you that you don't need that to feel any closer to your dad. Yeah. That he says to me that he does not want you to be haunted by how he was laid to rest or to feel, I need a piece of my dad to feel close to him.
Wow.
He says to me, Matt, he says, I know she carries my picture, he tells me.
I do.
And he says to me that you even have pictures of on your phone that you talk to and that you look at.
Yep.
He says to me, please know that that's far more valuable, he says, than even holding on to any remains of mine. That's what he tells me. Because your father's going like this. He goes, Matt, he goes, I never thought my daughter would go to that extreme. He says,
He should have known.
He says to me, listen, he goes, when I was here, he goes, I didn't give a shit what happened to my physical body. I said, bury me in the backyard for all I care.
Yeah, he never cared.
Because he tells me that at the end of the day, it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about you knowing that he's there and with you every single day. And that no matter where his cremains are, it doesn't matter because that's never going to change. His love for you is eternal. So your dad says, listen, let go of that hurt and that pain that was left by that relationship. because it doesn't serve you. He says, and it interferes in your relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
You know, what's amazing is this, is that your connection with him is so strong, and nobody can take that away from you. So know that even though that you feel all this pain and hurt because what was done to you was not fair,
Yeah.
this is your dad's way of letting you know that in spirit, his heart belongs to you.